Hi everyone, welcome to Learn with Israel YouTube channel. So today we'll be treating episode 1 for JAMB English question series. So we'll be treating episode 1, we'll start from question 1 to question 20. Let's get started. Identify the antonym of the underlined word. So we'll be identifying the antonym for question 1 and question 2. He mumbled a few words at the trial and then cried. He mumbled a few words at the trial and then cried. A shouted, B murmured, C sham, D invite. Mumbled means to murmur. So the synonym word for mumbled is murmur, but we are dealing with the antonym. So we'll go for option A. Option A. So mumbled is antonymous to shout. Question 2. James is a disco addict. He takes his studies rather lightly. He takes his studies rather lightly. A. Humorously. B. Gloomily. C. Carefully. D. Seriously. So to take something lightly is to be unserious. So the antonym word for lightly is seriously, because slightly synonym is unseriously. Let's move to question 3. It says, identify the synonym of the underlined word. The president of our club has sent his regret. The president of our club has sent his regret. A. Confusion. B. Explanation. C. Anxiety. D. Apologies. So regret means to send apology. To send apology, which makes option D the correct answer. Confusion, explanation, and anxiety are all wrong. Let's move to question 4. This also deals with synonym. We will buy this idea of introducing an entirely new product. We will buy this idea of introducing an entirely new product. A. Pay for. B. Accept. C. Trade in. D. Barter. But we are dealing with the word buy for the synonym. So if we are to look for the synonym of the word buy, we will go for accept. To buy the idea, to accept the idea. So let's move to question 5. Question 5. The story has to be taken with a grain of salt. This means that you need some salt to listen to the story. B. There is no salt in the story. C. The story is questionable. D. The story is true. So this question tells us to interpret the word with a grain of salt. So let's start from option D. Option D, the story is true. No, that's wrong. Option C, the story is questionable. Yes, that's correct. With a grain of salt, interpreting it means questionable. It means the story is not true, which is also questionable. Option B, there is no salt in the story. That's wrong. JAMB always use this kind of option to convince you guys. And option A, you need some salt to listen to the story. That's totally wrong. So let's move to question 6. All his plans fell through. A. Failed. B. Were accomplished. C. Had to be reviewed. D. Were rejected. Fell through also means unsuccessful. Failed, abortive business. So if we have to go through the option, we'll go for option A, which means failed. All his plans failed, all his plans fell through, all his plans were unsuccessful. All his plans were unsuccessful. While were accomplished, have to be reviewed, and were rejected are all wrong. Let's move to question 7. If you travel by air, you will be given an allowance to cover A. Luggages, B. Luggage, C. A baggage, D. Baggages. I know some of you guys will be confused with the option I wrote here. So let's start from option D. Baggages and luggages are wrong. They are grammatically incorrect in English language. Why a baggage? It's wrong to say a baggage or a luggage. The reason is because baggage is already plural. By adding a in front of it is wrong. So which makes option B the correct answer. If you travel by air, you will be given an allowance to cover luggage. Let's move to question 8. Remember, this matter is strictly dash. A, between you and I. B, among you and I. C, among you and me. D, between you and me. I know some of you guys will be confused. Let's start from option D. Between you and me is the correct answer. I know most people pick between you and I. It's totally wrong. If we are dealing with between in pronoun, we go with you and me. So let's move to the next question. Question 9. He had just entered the office, dash the telephone rang. He had just entered the office, dash the telephone rang. A, as, B, before, C, since, D, when. So let's check for the option. He had just entered the office when the telephone rang. Option C, he had just entered the office since the telephone rang. No. Option B, he had just entered the office before the telephone rang. No. Option A, he had just entered the office as the telephone rang. No. He had just entered the office when the telephone rang. So option D is the correct answer. Question 10. The man has atoned dash his sins. A, upon, B, on, C, for, D, at. Let's check it. The man has atoned at his sin. No, that's grammatically incorrect. The man has atoned for his sins. The man has atoned for his sins. That's correct. This two question is on preposition. Option B, the man has atoned on his sin. No, you cannot atone on your sin. You can only atone for your sin. Option A, the man has atoned upon his sins. No, that's grammatically incorrect. That's why it's very important to eliminate while attempting CBT questions, especially for JAMB. It's very compulsory to eliminate. Let's move to question 11. He did not like dash leaving the class early. He did not like dash leaving the class early. A, we, B, us, C, our, D, ourselves. If we fit all these options into this dash box, so let's check it out. He did not like ourselves leaving the class early. That's wrong. He did not like our leaving the class early. Wrong. He did not like us leaving the class early. Wrong. He did not like we leaving the class early. That's also wrong. So what should we do? Let's clean. He did not like. Let's clean it. He did not like. So let's put any of the option here. We leaving the class early. Is that wrong? Is that correct? No. Us leaving the class early. That's also wrong. Our leaving the class early. That's the correct answer. If you want to answer this kind of question, you have to be strategic. Ourselves leaving the class early, that's also wrong. So the correct answer is our leaving the class early. So let's write it back. He did not like our leaving the class early. Let's continue. Question 12. We visited his house dash 3 times. A, like, B, for like, C, about, C, for about. So let's start from option D. We visited his house for about 3 times. Most Nigerians go for this, which is also wrong. Option C, we visited his house about 3 times. That's on probation. Option B, we visited his house for like 3 times. No, that's wrong. Option A, we visited his house like 3 times. That's also wrong. So the correct answer is we visited his house about 3 times. So let's continue. Question 13. Our principal and chairman of the occasion dash just arrived. A, as, B, having, C, have, D, as. So let's check the question well. Our principal and chairman means just one person. One person carrying 2 titles, principal and the chairman. So since principal and chairman means one person, we'll go for the verb that has singular, which is as. So we can now say our principal and chairman of the occasion has just arrived. I hope you understand well. Let's move to question 14. Bimbo sings beautifully. So this question 14 is under question tag. Bimbo sings beautifully. A, isn't it? B, doesn't she? C, isn't she? D, does she? So in question tag, positive sentence follows negative tag. Why negative sentence follow positive tag? If you can check this question well, you see that this is positive sentence. Positive sentence. So if we have to look for the correct answer here, Bimbo sings beautifully. Does she? That's wrong. That's still positive. Bimbo sings beautifully. Isn't she? That's wrong. Bimbo sings beautifully. Doesn't she is correct. Why isn't it is used for things like animals? This is not used for human being. Let's continue. Question 15. Dash a good film, wasn't it? This is also a question tag. Dash a good film, wasn't it? A, it is. B, was it? C, there is. D, it was. Let's start from option D. It was a good film, wasn't it? Is correct, but let's check other option. There is a good film, wasn't it? No, that's totally wrong. Was it a good film? Wasn't it? That's incorrect. It is a good film, wasn't it? Assuming we have isn't it here, we would have go for option A. But since it is wasn't it, we'll go for option D, which is the correct answer. It was a good film, wasn't it? Question 16 says, identify the correct spelling. So this spelling, this option here is very confusing, but I will explain well to you guys. I have applied for dash on the campus and I am almost certain I shall get it. So we are looking for the correct spelling here. A, accommodation. B, accommodation. C, accommodation. D, accommodation. So how do we get the correct answer here? In spelling accommodation, we only have 2C, 2M. 2C, 2M is included. So let's check for option D. Accommodation, it has 2C, 2M. So option D is correct, but let's check other option. Option C has 2C, 1M, which is wrong. Option B has 2C, 2M, which should be correct, but it also has N. Accommodation does not have N, so which is wrong. Option A, they have 1C, 2M, which is also wrong, which makes option D the correct answer. I have applied for the accommodation on the campus and I am almost certain I shall get it. Let's continue, guys. Question 17. They dash our donation with thanks. This question is related talking question 17. Question 17. They dash our donation with thanks. A, received. B, received. C, received. D, received. So this question is telling us to identify spelling. According to the option, if we have to check, the receipt is wrong. The correct answer is option C. They received our donation with thanks. Be mindful of option A and B. Avoid it. The correct answer for received is RECEIVED. And note it now so you won't make mistake when attempting this kind of question. Question 18. As he was still owing me 2 naira, I was careful not to dash him any more money. As he was still owing me 2 naira, I was careful not to dash him any more money. A, lend. B, loan. C, borrow. D, credit. So credit and loan are both wrong. So we are now left with lend and borrow. But we need to be careful in picking either lend or borrow. I will now explain the difference between lend and borrow to you guys now. Lend is the sender, while borrow is the receiver. Assuming I want to lend you money, I am the lender, while you are the borrower. I hope you understand the difference between lend and borrow now. So as regard to this question, me telling you that I am careful to lend you money is the correct answer. So as he was still owing me 2 naira, I was careful not to lend him any more money. So let's continue. Question 19. My son has just been rusticated from the university. A, sent home to get his fees. B, sent home for his misconduct. C, sent home to rest. D, sent home to become rustic. So here they are telling us to interpret the word rusticated. So viewers, interpret it. Rusticated here in the option is sent home for misconduct to get his fee. Option C, to rest and to become rustic are all wrong. Rusticated means sent home for misconduct, which is also expelled. Question 20, which is the last question for episode 1. I am not attending, that is my wife. All these options are all conjunction. What they do is they bind 2 or more words together. I am not attending, whereas is my wife, wrong. I am not attending, neither is my wife. Let's check others. I am not attending, either is my wife. I am not attending, but is my wife. He is also wrong. Either is also wrong. So the correct answer is neither. I am not attending, neither is my wife also attending. So we've come to the end of this video. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in episode 2. So in this video, we'll be treating JAMB English question for episode 2. We've done episode 1, which is from question 1 to 20. So today we'll be treating question 21 to 40. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want special lesson or tutorials, if you want to join my tutorial on WhatsApp, just chat me on 080-3429-1901. Let's get started. Question 21. It says identify the antonym for the underlined word for question 21 and question 22. So question 21. Though his parents' poverty placed many obstacles in his path as a young man, Olu succeeded at last. A, odds, B, advantages, C, temptation, D, diversion. So we have to identify the antonym for obstacles. Obstacles means challenges. It means challenges. And the antonym word, the opposite word for obstacles, is advantages. Advantages, chances, advantages. So let's continue. Question 22. He found his father's advice invaluable. A, priceless. B, hopeless. C, worthless. D, helpful. So we have to find the opposite of invaluable. What's invaluable? Invaluable means worth, something worth it, something very valuable. So the antonym for invaluable is worthless, something not worth it, something not of value. So let's move to question 23. So this is a phrasal verb. My plans are still up in the air. We have to identify, we have to state the meaning of up in the air. A, being publicized. B, uncertain. C, uncovered. D, unprotected. So up in the air means uncertainty, not certain about your plans. So let's check the option. Uncertain is in option B. So my plans are uncertain. You can also say my plans are not certain. So let's dive into the next question. Let's continue. Identify the synonym for the underlined word for question 25, for question 24, and question 25. 24. Colossal means, so we have to identify the synonym for colossal. A Greek column. B, gigantic. C, sale of cups. D, a calamity. So colossal means something huge or massive. So if you have to check the option, since something that goes with colossal in the option is gigantic. Is gigantic. Colossal means massive, huge, and also gigantic. Let's move to question 25. The essence of governance is to seek the well-being of the people. So we have to look for the synonym of the word essence. A, importance. B, goal. C, characteristic. the secret. So what's essence? Essence means the importance. What's the importance of government? What's the essence of government, of governance? So if you have checked the option A is the correct answer. So let's move to question 26. The boss told the man to let the sleeping dogs lie. To let the sleeping dogs lie. A, not to look for trouble. B, not to disturb others. C, let the dogs sleep well. D, let the trouble begins. So let the sleeping dogs lie means not to disturb others. Not to disturb others from what they are doing or not to interrupt others. So let's check the option here. Not to disturb others is in option B, which is the correct answer. If you are answering this kind of question, you need to avoid let this dog sleep well. JAMB put this kind of option in their question because this is JAMB question in order to trick students. So let's move to question 27. Each of the students in the class dash responsible for submitting the assignments. A are, B have been, C is, D were. So before answering any question starting from each, you should have it at the back of your mind that any question starting with each attracts singular verb. It attracts singular verb. So if you have to check the option, we'll go for is. Is the only singular verb. Each of the students in the class is responsible for submitting the assignment. You need to avoid are, have been, and were. Because the rule of concord of each states that any question starting with each or any sentence starting with each must go with singular verb. So let's continue. So let's continue. Question 28. At the age of 80, Musa wished he could put the clock back. Musa wished he could put the clock back. A, stop the clock. B, put down the clock. C, go back in time. D, have more time. So this is phrasal verb and we are to interpret the meaning of put the clock back. So what's put the clock back? Put the clock back means to reverse in time, to go back in time. So let's check the option here. It's in option C, go back in time. So that's the meaning of put the clock back. Question 29. There is no need to stand dash ceremony in matters of this nature. So this is a preposition question. You have to fill in the option. A, by, B, to, C, on, D, for. So let's check it. There is no need to stand by ceremony. That's grammatically incorrect. Option B, there is no need to stand to. That's wrong. That does not sound well. Option C, there is no need to stand on ceremony in matters of this nature is the correct answer. So on is the correct answer. Let's move to question 30. My father cannot bear the dash that emanates from my mother's support. I hope you subscribe to my channel. You subscribe, Abby. Okay, let's continue. A, sweet. B, aroma. C, smell. D, scent. I know this four terminology may sound confusing, but I will break it down for you guys. Scent is the odor that comes out from flower or perfume. While smell can be a pleasant odor or unpleasant odor. I hope you get that right. What of aroma? Aroma is a good, pleasant smell that comes out from food or coffee. And for sweet is not a smell, rather it's an odor. Sweet is a taste. You need to taste it before you can know how it tastes, maybe whether it is sweet or bitter. The cake tastes sweet. You have tasted it before you can know whether it's sweet or bitter. So with my explanation, let's now check the option that goes well with the question. Said, my father cannot bear the dash that emanates from my mother's support. This question is talking about food. So we'll go for aroma. Aroma. I hope you understand now. So let's continue. Question 31. The candidate looked dash after finishing the examination. A, unhappily. B, angrily. C, unhappy. D, happily. This question is very easy to eliminate. What do? Answering this question is a statement. How the person feel. Looked dash. So if answering this kind of question, you need adjective, not an adverb. Unhappily, angrily, and happily are all adverbs. The only adjective is unhappy. So fill it into it. The candidate looked unhappy after finishing the examination. So let's continue. Question 32. If he had entered the room, I dash him. A. Saw. B. Had seen. C. Would have seen. D. Will see. So let's check it. If he had entered the room, I will see him. That's wrong. Option C. If he had entered the room, I would have seen him is correct. Let's check with the others. If he had entered the room, I had seen him. That's wrong. And if he had entered the room, I saw him. That's grammatically incorrect, which makes option C the correct answer. If he had entered the room, I would have seen him. Question 33. Bola studiously avoided dash the questions. A. Parrying. B. Destroying. C. Projecting. D. Answering. When answering this kind of question, you need to check the context of the question. So we have to fill in the option. Bola studiously avoided parrying with the question. You cannot parry with question. Bola studiously avoided destroying the questions. No. Bola studiously avoided projecting the questions. No. Formats can only be projected. You can only project documents on a projector. You cannot project question on a projector. Even if you have to project question on a projector, the question will be in a document format. But question on option D, Bola studiously avoided answering the question. Yeah, you are correct. Answering the question is the correct answer. So let's move to the next question. Question 34. He was dashed by the trickster. A. Assisted. B. Duped. C. Enjoined. D. Encouraged. So we have to fill in the suitable option to the sentence. So what's trickster? Trickster is someone that cajole or lure someone into an activity or a malicious activity to defraud the individual. So if I check, we'll go for option B, which is duped. He was duped by the trickster. Trickster can never assist you. They can only dupe you. They can never encourage you. They can never enjoin you. They can only dupe you. They will lure you in order to dupe you. So let's move to question 35. The secretary has no right to dash my affairs. A. Spy from. B. Meddling. C. Toy at. D. Complain at. So let's check option D. The secretary has no right to complain at my affair. That's totally wrong. Option C. The secretary has no right to toy at my affair. That's also wrong. Option B. The secretary has no right to meddle in my affairs. That's the correct answer. Let's check option A. The secretary has no right to spy from my affairs. That's totally wrong. So what's meddling? Meddling means to interfere into other people's business. So the secretary has no right to interfere in my affairs. The secretary has no right to meddle in my affairs. So let's move to the next question. Question 36. There was that much noise at night that we couldn't sleep. A. Such a. B. Sigh. C. That. D. So. So let's fit the option into the dash. There was so much noise at night that we couldn't sleep is the correct, but let's check for that. There was that much noise at night that we couldn't sleep is wrong. Sigh and such a is also wrong. So option D is the correct answer. There was so much noise that we couldn't sleep at night. Let's move to question 37. Question 37. The poor little kid has been down dash fever these few days. A. With. B. From. C. In. D. For. The poor little kid has been down for fever these few days. That's wrong. The poor little kid has been down in fever. You can never be down in fever. You can only be down with fever. So option A is the correct answer. The poor little kid has been down with fever for few days. Question 38. The principal went to buy some dash for the thesis. A. Equipment. B. Piece of equipment. C. List of equipment. D. Equipment. So what I want you guys to know that equipment without the S is already plural. Equipment without the S is already plural. So adding S to it is grammatically incorrect. So if I check the option All the equipment here are with S. So the only one without S is option A, equipment. So we can now say the principal went to buy some equipment for the thesis. So I want you guys to note this, and if you are making this kind of mistake, correct yourself now. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please go and subscribe right now. And for those that have subscribed, let's continue. Question 39. Amina attend a commercial college. So this is an emphatic question. A. Does Kunle attend a commercial college? B. Has Amina graduated from a commercial college? C. Does Amina attend a technical college? D. Does Amina attend a commercial bank? So when treating an emphatic stress question, you have to check for the underlined words. The underlined word is commercial. So we'll now check the option that is not having commercial in it to know the correct answer. So if we check option A, B, and D, they both have commercial. So option C does not have commercial. Option C says, does Amina attend the technical college? So option C is the correct answer. Let's move to question 40, which is the last question for episode 2. If you haven't subscribed to this moment, please subscribe now. Question 40. They went to the market and bought a suitcase and dash bag. A big leather brown. B, a leather brown big. C, a big brown leather. D, a leather big brown. So there's a sequence to answer this kind of question. And what's the sequence? Let me write it here. We have size. After that, we have shape. After that, what do we have? Color. We have color. And after that, we have origin. We have origin, and we have material. Material. So we have size, shape, color, origin, and material. So let's check from option D. Size. A leather, big brown. Big is the size. So leather coming before big makes option D wrong. It should be size before the material. Leather is the material. So let's check for option C. A big brown leather. A big brown leather. Big, we have the size, while brown the color, and leather the material. So option C should be correct, but let's check for other options. Option B, a leather brown big. Material coming before color and before size is totally wrong. Option A big leather brown, is also wrong because brown should come before leather. Color should come before material. So the correct answer is option C, a big brown leather. So we can now say they went to the market and bought a suitcase and a big brown leather bag. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to join my WhatsApp online tutorial, this is my WhatsApp number. You can chat me 08034291901. So this is my WhatsApp number. You can always chat me on the WhatsApp line. Hi everyone, welcome to Learn with TJ YouTube channel. So today we'll be treating episode 3 on JAMB English question. So let's get started. Question 41. But the first is identify the antonym for the underlined word. So question 41. The angry waves swallowed the boat. The angry waves swallowed the boat. So we are to identify angry. So option A, gentle. Option B, unruffled. Option C, cool. Option D, serene. So angry means vexed, and the opposite is gentle. Gentle, to be calm, to be gentle. So another opposite meaning for angry is calm. So let's continue. Question 42. The Lions of Cameroon is really an indomitable team. A, powerful. B, prominent. C, weak. D, coward. So indomitable means powerful, which is option A. But we are looking for the antonym word, which is something weak and unpowerful. So the antonym for indomitable is weak. So let's continue. It says, identify the synonym for the underlined words. Question 43. He likes to call attention to unimportant matters. So we have to identify the synonym for question 43 and 44. A. Dubious. B. Incidental. C. Trivial. D. Simple. So unimportant means something of no value, something not worth it. So if we have to look at the option, we'll go for trivial. Trivial is synonymous to non-important. So let's continue. Question 44. Israel has a bicycle which is in marvelous condition. Israel has a bicycle which is in marvelous condition. So we have to find the synonym for marvelous. A. Need of a tune-up. B. Excellent. C. Unstable. D. Working. So if something is in marvelous condition, it means it's in a stable condition, it's in an excellent condition. And if we check the option for excellent, excellent is in option B, which is the correct answer. Assuming we are going for antonym, we would have go for unstable. So since we are dealing with synonym, the correct answer is excellent. If you haven't subscribed to Learn with Israel YouTube channel, please go and subscribe now. Let's continue. 45. To be in red is to be A. In debt, B. Rich, C. A socialist, D. Red. So this question is an idiom telling us to identify the meaning of to be in red. So to be in red is for someone to have maybe 5,000 naira somewhere and you are able to over withdraw like 10,000. That means you are already in red. So to be in red means to be in debt. So option A is the correct answer. So let's continue. Question 46. He had an axe to grind. He had an axe to grind. A. An account to settle. B. A tool for something to sharpen. C. A bone to pick with someone. D. A personal objective to achieve. This is also an idiom. You have to know the meaning of the word. So what's axe to grind? Axe to grind means the aim you are achieving, you want to achieve. Like option D, a personal objective to achieve. So option D is the correct answer. You should ignore a tool for something to sharpen or a bone to pick with someone because it is asked to grind does not mean a tool for something to sharpen. So let's continue. Question 47. To dash did you give my pen? A. B. Who? C. Whose? D. What? So let's check the option. What did you give my pen? That's grammatically incorrect. To whose did you give my pen? It's also wrong. To who did you give my pen? It's wrong. And to whom did you give my pen? Is the correct answer. Whom is an objection to the preposition to. So to whom go with each other. Avoid who when answering this kind of question. Question 48. You will need dash to help the investigators. A. Disinformation. B. Disinformations. C. Disinformation. D. Disinformations. So these options are quite confusing, right? So let's break it down. Information without s is already plural. So adding of s is grammatically incorrect. Avoid adding of s when answering this kind of question. So which makes option B and option D eliminated. Now remain option C and A. So since information is already plural, we need to avoid this because it's also plural. So which means option A, this information, the correct answer. You will need this information to help the investigators. So let's continue. Question 49. The doctor listened to my heartbeat with a dash. A. Cardiograph. B. Stethoscope. C. Chrometer. D. Microscope. So microscope, chrometer, and cardiograph are all wrong. The doctor listened to my heartbeat with a stethoscope. What is stethoscope used for? Stethoscope is used by a doctor to listen to heart sound or heartbeat. Let's continue. Question 50. His ear needs dash. A. To cut. B. To have cut. C. Being cut. D. Cutting. So let's check through the option to see what goes right with this. His ear needs to cut. That's totally wrong. There's nothing like that. His ear needs to have cut. That does not sound well. Option C, its ear needs being cut. That's also grammatically incorrect. Option D, his ear needs cutting. Yeah, that's the correct answer. His ear needs cutting. If you haven't subscribed to this moment, I urge you to go and subscribe now. That's the only way you guys can help me. Hit that like button and subscribe. So let's continue. All farmers were encouraged dash carry out fumigation on their farms. A, in, B, with, C, to, D, from. So let's check the option. All farmers were encouraged from carry out. That's grammatically incorrect. Let's check option C. All farmers were encouraged to. Yes, that's the correct answer. Encourage plus to, which is infinitive. So we can only say encourage to. So let's check. Encourage with and encourage in is very incorrect. Let's continue. Question 52. When his car tire dash on the way, he did not know what to do. When his car tire dash on the way, he did not know what to do. A, had burst, B, has burst, C, busted, D, burst. So I want to correct many students which make mistake in this kind of question. There is nothing like busted. So option C is wrong. We have present tense, past tense, and past participle. And the present tense for burst is burst. The past tense is burst. And the past participle is also burst. So it is wrong to say had burst or has burst. Burst is the correct answer. When his car tire burst on the way, he did not know what to do. Anytime you see busted, there is nothing like busted in English language. So avoid that. Let's continue. Question 53. Mary goes to school dash bus. A, in bus, B, on bus, C, with bus, D, by bus. So the correct answer is what? By bus. Mary goes to school by bus. Question 54. All plays dash violin. So let's check the option and see what goes with it. All plays a violin. B, the violin. C, all plays some violin. D, all plays their violin. So it is wrong to say all plays their violin. The correct answer is what? All plays the violin. That is grammatically correct. Let's move to question 55. Each of the houses dash a few look. Each of the houses dash a few look. A, has, B, have got, C, were given, D, have. So let's check the option. Each of the houses have a few look. It's wrong to say that because of the each here. I explained it in episode 2 of the JAMB English, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it out now. Any question starting with each or any sentence starting with each attract with singular verb, and if you have to pick the singular verb here, we will go with has. It is the only singular verb here. So each of the houses has a few look. We need to avoid the houses here because it is plural. We don't have anything to do with the houses. We only have something to do with the each here because each is singular, and any sentence starting with each attracts singular verb. Note that because I've attempted it in episode 2, and if you need more understanding on that, watch episode 2 and watch this one also so you can learn more about it. Question 56. The boy is good. The boy is good. So this is a question tag. The boy is good. A, is he? B, isn't he? C, is he not? D, isn't she? Then ask you question tag. You need to check the question and know the context. So this is a positive statement. So in question tag, we have positive statement, and negative response. and negative response. So if it starts with positive statement, that means it will end with negative response. So the boy is good is a positive statement, so it needs to end with negative response. So let's check. Isn't he is the suitable and the correct answer, because isn't is replying with negative, while the boy is also he. So isn't he is the correct answer. The boy is good, isn't he? So let's continue. Question 57. This is also a question tag. You don't like mathematics, dash you. A, do you? B, don't you? C, can't you? D, can. So since we have don't here, it is wrong to pick can and can't. So we've eliminated option C and option D. So let's check option B. Option B, don't you? You don't like mathematics, don't you? Is also wrong. You don't reply negative statement with negative response. You only reply negative statement with positive response. And the positive response is do you? You don't like mathematics, do you? Let's continue. Question 58. I have the dash of meeting the president. So this is spelling, telling us to identify the correct spelling. A, I have the privilege. B, I have the privilege. C, I have the privilege. D, I have the privilege. So let's check this correct spelling. The correct spelling of privilege, privilege does not have D. So option B is eliminated. It's Privilegee. So option A is the correct answer. Note that Privilegee. Privilege does not have D. Let's continue. Question 59. Did you have dash when you went to visit the medical doctor? Did you have dash when you went to visit the medical doctor? So this is also about spelling. So let's check the correct spelling for diarrhea. Option D. Diarrhea is wrong. Diarrhea have O and it also have 2R. 2R. So note that diarrhea have 2R. Option C doesn't have 2R. Assuming it have 2R, we would have gone for option C. So option C is also wrong. Option B does not have O. Assuming it has O here, between H and E, we have gone for option B. So let's check option A, diarrhea. Yeah, it has 2R and it also has O. DIARRHOEA. So do you have diarrhea when you went to visit the medical doctor? Let's move to question 60, which is the last question for episode 3. And if you haven't subscribed to this moment and watched the video to this level, please go and subscribe now. Question 60. Be careful not to dash this money. A lose, the lose, the C lost, the loss. So let me explain the option. Let's start from loss. Loss is when you do a business and you shortage of income. So lost is to lose something, or to say be careful not to lose this money is very, very wrong. And option A, lose, is to untie something, to untie a boat. You lose the boat. So the difference between lose and the one with single O is that lose with double O is to untie a boat or not, while lose is to misplace something. Be careful not to lose this money. So if you have been picking this option A before, don't make that kind of mistake again. So it is lose with the single that is used for losing or misplacing something. But if it's to untie a boat or not, you go with LOOSE, which is the double O. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in my next video, which is episode 4. Hi guys, welcome back to Learn with Israel YouTube channel. So in this video we'll be treating episode 4 for JAMB English. We've done episode 1, 2, 3, and for those following us, we're treating episode 4 today. So let's get started. And episode 4 comprised from question 61 to question 80. So if you haven't subscribed to Learn with Israel YouTube channel and you are watching us right now, please subscribe now. So once I drop another episode series, you will be the first person to watch the video. And here is my number right here. If you are interested in tutorial, or if you are interested in getting JAMB syllabus for any subject for free, or if you are interested in mentorship, just try this number right here for guidance. So let's get started. It says, Identify the antonym of the underlined word. So question 61, it says, the man's health has deteriorated in the hospital. The man's health has deteriorated in the hospital. So we are to identify the antonym for the underlined word. We are to identify the opposite for the underlined word. So before we identify it, we need to know the meaning of the underlined word before we can know the opposite. So deteriorated means something to get worse. So we can now say the man's health has gotten worse in the hospital. So the opposite of worse is improve, to get better. So deteriorated, the opposite of deteriorated means better, or something to get better. Another antonym word for deteriorated is improve, or something to improve, or something to get better. So the correct answer here is improved. Question 62. Mr. Jack was most flexible in his instruction. Mr. Jack was most flexible in his instruction. A, rigid. B, correct. C, stiff. D, upright. What flexible? Flexible means not rigid. Flexible means to be prone or willingly to give all your things, or to be willingly to give something out. So the opposite meaning of flexible is rigid. Rigid. So let's continue. It says, identify the synonym of the underlined word. So we are to identify the synonym of question 63 and question 64. Question 63. The sheep's brother was a complete nonentity. So we are to identify the synonym word of nonentity. A, upstart. B, vagabond. C, riffraff. D, person of inexperience. So what's nonentity? Nonentity is someone of no value, a riffraff. So if we have to check the option, we can find riffraff in option C. So option C is the correct answer. Let's continue. Question 64. The carpenter built a commodious wardrobe. A, gigantic. B, small. C, spacious. D, wide. So what's commodious? Commodious means something spacious. Spacious. Big. Large. Something commodious. Something roomy. Something very big. And something very spacious. So another synonym for commodious in doctor is gigantic. Gigantic also means something very huge. So guys, let's continue. Question 65. It says, choose the word that does not have same vowel sound as the others. So we have to identify the odd word among the options for question 65 and 66. So we have loot, hoot, route, and root. So let me write the vowel sound. For loot, it is written as, for boot, it's written like this. For root, and for root. So as you check the vowel sound, you should be able to identify the odd one there. The one that does not have same vowel sound with the others is route. Route. Loot, hoot, and root, they have the same vowel sound except for route. It is pronounced route. Option C is pronounced route, not root. While this one is pronounced as root. I hope you understand now. Let's move to question 66 for better understanding. Rough, dog, calf, and rot. So let me write out the vowel sound. For rough, it is written as, for dog, for cough, looking at this vowel sound here, you should be able to identify the odd one. The odd one is rough. Rough and cough, reason they don't have the same vowel sound is because they are pronounced differently. Rough is not pronounced as rough, it is pronounced as rough. Rough. While cough is pronounced as cough. So that's the difference. That's why they don't have the same vowel sound. Let's move to question 67. There is no love lost between Hassan and Azana. So this question is a idiom question. Both the two questions are idiom questions. A, dislike each other. B, are head over heels in love. C, we love each other. D, are still good friends. Because you are seeing love here does not mean love is the correct option. No love lost is a idiom, as I said earlier, and no love lost means to dislike each other. So if you have to check the option, we'll go for option A, to dislike each other. There's no love lost between Hassan and Azana means to dislike each other. It means Hassan and Azana dislike each other. Question 68. The two sprinters were running neck and neck. A, exact level. B, very slowly. C, very fast. D, together. So neck and neck means to be on the same race. Maybe you are running a race with someone and you are on exact level. That's what we call neck and neck. So the correct answer is exact level. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now as we move to the next question. So let's continue. Question 69. Dan and Tina met on the ship and greeted dash A, one another, B, themselves, C, each other, D, themselves. So one another is used between 3 or more people. And we have 2 people here, so one another is wrong. Themselves is also wrong. Each other is the correct answer. Each other is used among 2 people. So we can now say Dan and Tina met on the ship and greeted each other. Question 70. My shoes are worn out. I must see my dash. A, grocer. B, tenor. C, cobbler. D, osier. So, since if one shoe is worn out, you need to see the specialists under that type of work. And the specialists under that type of work, the people that repair shoe that is worn out, are the cobbler. So cobbler is the correct answer. I know some people say shoemaker. Shoemaker is wrong. Shoemaker are the people that build shoes and not the shoe repairer. The shoe repairer are also known as the cobbler. Let's move to question 71. What made you dash that? A, I've said. B, to say. C, saying. D, say. Let's check it. What made you? I've said that. That's grammatically incorrect. Option B, what made you to say that? Is also wrong. Option C, what made you saying that? That does not sound well. And option D, what made you say that? The correct answer. What made you say that? Question 72. 4 engineers dash on this system since March. Since March. So we need to fill it in with present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. And the suitable option is have been working, because they say since March, which means they are still working on it till now. So you can now say 4 engineers have been working on this system since March. I hope you understand that now. So let's continue. Question 73. Good schools don't just teach their students, they dash. A, inform. B, instruct. C, educate. D, coach. So you can say good students don't just teach their students, they coach. You can also say good students don't just teach their students, they instruct. You can also say good schools don't just teach their students, they inform. And you can also say good schools don't just teach their students, they also educate. But the one that is broader and encompasses all the option is educate. Coach, instruct, inform are all still under educate. So the most correct answer here is good schools don't just teach their students, they educate. Question 74. The lawyer insisted that the full payment of his charge. A, with. B, in. C, for. D, on. So you can only insist in or insist upon. So on is the correct answer. The lawyer insisted on the full payment of his charge. Or you can also say the lawyer insisted on, or you can also say the lawyer insisted upon the full payment of his charge. Let's move to question 75. The number of sons will be increased dash 20 to 30. A, from. B, on. C, at. D, into. So when something is going from one number or to another, or you are going from a place, let's use maybe you are going from Lagos to Abuja, you can say I am going from Lagos to Abuja. So if you are using and it's related to this kind of context, so you can now say the number of stores will be increased from 20 to 30, from Lagos to Abuja, from Kano to Maduguri, I hope you understand. In this kind of context, is from plus 2. So from is the correct answer. I can now say the number of stores will be increased from 20 to 30. Question 76. He put dash in a basket. A white dozen eggs. B a dozen white eggs. C a white dozen eggs. D dozen white eggs. So this kind of confusing, right? So we have a contest for adjective. This is an adjective question, which is size, shape, we have origin, we have color, we have shape, we have color, we have origin, we have material. White can't come before dozen because white is color, white dozen is the size. Dozen is 12, right? Which is a number. And we can also say dozen is the size. So dozen will come before color. So size will come before color, which means dozen will come before white. So we can now say a dozen white eggs is the correct answer. It is wrong to say dozen white eggs. A dozen white eggs is the correct answer. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to this moment, please go and subscribe now. Let's continue. Question 77. Measles dash no longer impossible to manage these days. A if, B are, C were, D was. So measles is singular and we need singular verb to fit in this sentence. So we go for is. This is the singular verb that go with measles. So we can now say measles is no longer impossible to manage these days. Question 78. The minister addressed the workers to boost their dash. A morality, B moral, C moral, D moral. So the correct option here is moral with the E, which is option C. Moral means boost their confidence, maybe ahead of an event. So moral is the correct answer. Question 79. This is a question tag. You are just putting the heart on dash. A, don't you? B, isn't it? C, aren't you? D, not so. So when answering question tag, I already said it in my previous episode, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it out now. If you are answering question tag, you need to reply negative statement with positive tag. We have positive statement here, so we reply with negative tag. We have you are just, so we deal with this. So we can now say aren't you, which is option C. We are just putting the heart on. Aren't you? So the last question for today, which is question 80 for episode 4. The company representative in Nigeria is a dash. A, smart little Japanese. B, little smart Japanese. C, smart Japanese little. D, little Japanese smart. Our size is little. So we can now say smart little Japanese. Japanese cannot come before little. Size must come before origin. So the correct answer is smart little Japanese. For those that watch this video to the end, I thank you all guys. Please like, share and comment. See you in my next video. Hi everyone, welcome to Learn with Israel YouTube channel. So today we'll be treating JAMB English practice question for episode 5, which will be from question 81 to question 100. Guys, so on this episode we'll be treating question 81 to 100. We'll be treating 100 questions in just 5 episodes. So let's get started. Identify the antonym of the underlined words. From question 81 to 82, we are going to identify the antonym for question 81 and 82. Question 81. The poverty among the mass is unbearable. The poverty among the mass is unbearable. A, arrogance. B, saturation. C, affluence. D, influence. So antonym means opposite in meaning. So before we can know the opposite of meaning for poverty, you need to know the meaning of poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is the state of having little or no money. So poverty is the state of having little or no money. And if you check the option, the opposite meaning for the word opposite, or the opposite word for poverty is affluent. Affluent means someone rich, wealthy, opulent. Opulent, rich, wealthy, affluent are similar in meaning. So they are the opposite word for poverty. Let's move to the next question. Question 82. Juma is cruel to her husband. A. Harsh. B. Brutal. C. Passionate. D. Ferocious. So what's cruel? Cruel means someone merciless. Someone merciless. Someone brutal. Someone harsh. Someone brutal. So cruel means someone harsh, someone brutal, someone merciless. And the opposite meaning for the word cruel is merciful, passionate. So the opposite for cruel is passionate. Passionate. So let's move to the next one. It says identify the synonym of the underlined word from. So we have to identify the synonym from question 83 to 84. Question 83. The task is acronym. The task is acronym. A. Irregular. B. Related to Hercules. C. Stimulating. D. Demanding. So acronyms means a difficult task. Acronym means a difficult task, and if you check the option, the related word to difficult is demanding. Something difficult, something time consuming, something demanding. So let's move to the next question. It was hard to give copious examples to appear convincing. A. Concrete. B. Rigid. C. Cogent. D. Many. So here we have to find the word similar. So the word similar to copious is many. And another word is also abundant. Abundant, many. So many is in the option. So option D is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Please subscribe to Learn with TJ YouTube channel for more as we move to the next question. Question 85. So before we continue, look at this number right here. If you are interested in tutorial or mentorship, just share this number right here on WhatsApp. And if you are interested in getting JAMB syllabus for any subject, just share this number right here to get it for free. So let's continue. Question 85. Dash yet about the principal. A. Are there any news? B. Are there some news? C. Is there any news? D. Is there any news? So the first thing to look at when answering this kind of question is the noun. The news is the noun there, and news is uncountable noun. News is uncountable noun, and news should go with is. So if you check the option, we are now left with option C and D. Option A and B are eliminated because news is already uncountable now. So you should go with is. So we can now say option C. Is there any news yet about the principal? It is wrong to go for option D because this there here carries plural and it is very wrong grammatically. So it is right to say, is there any news yet about the principal? Question 86. Jane and Jarawa love very much dash. A. Themselves. B. Each other. C. One another. D. Themselves. So each other is being used among two people, while one another is used among three or more. So it is wrong to say Jane and Jarawa love very much one another. It is wrong. While the correct answer is each other. Jane and Jarawa love very much each other. But the kind of question the kind of sentence you can use one another for is three brothers are fighting with one another. I hope you get it now. Three brothers are fighting with one another. Remember, I said one another deals with three or more. So it is right to say three brothers are fighting with one another. But you can say Jane and Jarawa love very much each other. Question 87. As dash of you can come are welcome. As dash of you can come are welcome. A each, B any, C many, D more. So the expression says as dash of you can come are welcome. So the word that fit right is as many of you that come are welcome, because many denotes a large number. It denotes a large number of people. And if you check other options, as each of you can come, that's grammatically incorrect. B, as any of you, as more of you. These A, C, A, B, and D are all wrong. The correct answer is as many of you, because many denotes a quite large number of people. Question 88. Some people think that dash are potentially a nuisance. A, parent-in-law. B, parents-in-law. C, parents-in-laws. D, parent-in-law. So this might sound confusing, right? This is a noun, and parents take the keynote. Parents take the keynote. So parents will take the S since it take the keynote in the noun. So parents will be taking the S. So we can now say parents-in-law. Parents-in-law. It's wrong to say parents-in-laws. Parents-in-law. The S is attached with the first. I hope you understand that now. I will make a video on now to explain more on this. So subscribe to Learn with Teacher YouTube channel. Once I drop the video, you'll be the first person to watch it. So let's move to the next one. Question 89. If I were the HOD in my school, I dash make oral English a compulsory subject. If I were the HOD in my school, I dash make oral English a compulsory subject. A would, B would, C should, D might. So let's start from the phrase if I were the HOD in my school. So you saying if you were the HOD in the school means you will make what you want happen. So we'll go for would. Would is the correct verb that fit into this. If I were the HOD in my school, I would make oral English a compulsory subject. Question 90. Mrs. Okoro dash in this school since 1975. Mrs. Okoro dash in this school since 1975. A taught, B is teaching, C was teaching, D has been teaching. So they said Mrs. Okoro dash in this school since 1975 means Mrs. Okoro is still teaching till now. So has been teaching is the correct verb, which is present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous has been teaching. Mrs. Okoro has been teaching in this school since 1975. Assuming since 1975 is not here, assuming it is just Mrs. Okoro dash in the school, we would have gone for Mrs. Okoro taught in this school. It's still correct. Mrs. Okoro taught in this school. But adding this since 1975 means she's still teaching up till date. Question 91. The meeting starts dash 2 o'clock. Please be punctual. A, about, B, in, C, on, D, at. So let's feed the option. The meeting starts about 2 o'clock. That's wrong. Option B, the meeting starts in 2 o'clock. That's wrong. Option C, the meeting starts on 2 o'clock. That's also wrong. Option D, the meeting starts at 2 o'clock is correct. At 2 o'clock means exactly 2 o'clock. But saying by 2 o'clock means not later than 2 o'clock. It means not later than 2 o'clock. So the difference between at 2 o'clock and by 2 o'clock is that at 2 o'clock means exactly 2 o'clock, while by 2 o'clock means not later than 2 o'clock. So let's continue. The mechanic did not tell me the brakes dash bad. The mechanic did not tell me the brake dash bad. A were, B are, C is, D was. So the word that last year brakes is plural. So we'll fit in the verb that is also plural, which is were. The mechanic did not tell me the brakes were bad. It is wrong to say the mechanic did not tell me the brakes are bad. It's grammatically incorrect. The correct answer is where. So if you haven't subscribed to Learn with Israel YouTube channel, please subscribe now as we move to the next one. Question 93. She was dashed the badge of tears. A, half, B, on, C, by, D, with. So badge means you can only be on the badge of doing something. You can only be what? On the badge of doing something. So one is the appropriate answer. He was on the badge of tears. He was on the badge of tears. Question 94. I have dash money left in my account. I have dash money left in my account. A few, B, a little, C, little, D, few. So let me explain the terminology for these four options. Few means not many. A few means very large number. Very large number. Little means not much. Why a little means appreciable, something appreciable. Appreciable. You can use a little when you send someone just some money. You can say, I've sent you a little token to manage for your school fee, or a little token to as appreciation for your birthday gift. A little is appreciable. I hope you understand that now. So as to this question, I have dash money left in my account. The one that goes with this question is little. I have not much money in my account. I have little money in my account. You cannot say I have few money. That's very wrong. I have little money in my account. Question 95 is also similar to question 94. Although the problem was simple, that students were able to solve it. When I said little means not much, a few means very large number, few means not many, while a little means appreciable. We are not talking about token here, so a little is wrong. The students were able to solve it. Not much students were able, not many students. You cannot use much for students. Many is used for students because this student here is plural. And I said it earlier that many denote large number of people. So few is the correct answer. Although the problems were simple, few students were able to solve it. Few students were able to solve it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe now. Question 96. Jimo always cautioned that difficult jobs should be done that step by step, B steps by steps, C step from step, D steps after step. This question is so simple. I know you should be able to answer this question. The correct answer is step by step, which means gradual process. Jimo always cautioned that difficult jobs should be done step by step, gradually. It should be done gradually. So let's move to the next one. Question 97. Dash is switches on the light, the shadow disappears. Dash is switches on the light, the shadows disappear. A whenever, B except, C since, D until. So let's check. Until it switches on the light, the shadows disappear. That's wrong. Since it switches on the light, the shadows disappear. That's not grammatically correct. Except it switches on the light, the shadow disappears. No. Whenever it switches on the light, the shadow disappears. A is correct. And the reason why we go for option A is because whenever also means anytime. Anytime. So you can say anytime it switches on the light, the shadows disappear. Whenever it switches on the light, the shadows disappear. So option A is the correct answer. Question 98. Either Ekaete or you dash to go. A was, B are, C as, D is. Either Ekaete or you are to go. Are to go. You can only go with are. You are going somewhere. You cannot say you is going somewhere. Is that correct? No, you are. You are. So A is the correct answer. When answering either, we need to check the last word here. And let's check for this also for better understanding of question starting with either. Question 99. Either the teacher or the student dash to be blamed. A is, B are, C has been, D are been. So we check student. Student is also plural. So we go for are. Are. Either the teacher or the student are to be blamed. Are to be blamed. Now, we will be moving to question 100, which is the last question for episode 5. Government has frowned upon politicians who are out to dash wealth. A. Gain wealth. B. Amass wealth. C. Steal wealth. D. Waste wealth. So, amass wealth is the correct answer. And what amass? To amass wealth is to accumulate wealth dishonestly. To accumulate wealth dishonestly. And that's what most politicians do. They are out to accumulate wealth dishonestly, to amass wealth dishonestly. So amass is the one that goes for the question. So we've come to the end of this video. I thank everyone that has watched from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done 100 questions. That's not a small mile. And now we'll still be continuing. We are not stopping here. So if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. So once I drop the next episode, you'll be the first person to watch this video. See you in my next video.